Darkness. A lone spotlight on a piano. The music stops, and suddenly we hear a whisper. I know when she's vulnerable. Taylor Swift is no stranger to threats. But now, a new stalker has surfaced with shocking demands. Leak her album The Life of a Showgirl or face consequences. Tonight, we go inside the tension, the fear, and the fight for control. The stalker, said to be a delusional individual with previous fixation on Taylor, asserts he has advanced copies of the album vault. He claims he will release tracks early unless given access, attention, or some twisted form of connection. While there is no verified evidence so far that the stalker actually possesses the masters or pre-release files, the threat alone sends alarm bells ringing through Swift's team. In recent months, a man named Brian Jason Wagner has been the subject of legal action, multiple alleged visits to her home, bizarre claims, and a restraining order. Court records report that Wagner was claimed to have visited her Los Angeles residence between July 2024 and May 2025, made statements about living in her property, and even once carried a glass bottle that raised safety concerns. The court granted a temporary restraining order requiring him to stay at least 100 yards away from Taylor's home, work, and vehicle. But Wagner has become difficult to locate. Attempts by private investigators to track him down have reportedly failed. Meanwhile, security sources say Taylor is now carrying quick-clot bandages, a medical kit for severe bleeding, as a precaution, given the elevated threat level. The Life of a Showgirl is set to release October 3, 2025. For Taylor, this album isn't just music, it's her narrative, her control over her story, and how she reveals herself to the world. A leak means losing the timing, the impact, and possibly spoiling the emotional journey she's built. Beyond commercial losses, a leak under these circumstances feels like a violation. A stalker not only wants to intrude on her day-to-day life but also her art, the expression she uses to communicate. If the stalker does manage to release songs early, it could be damaging. Chart manipulation, pirate versions, incomplete mixes, or even falsifications. Also, if the leak is tied to threats, it creates a psychological warfare. The stalker frames themselves as having power over her career. Legal. The restraining order is already in place against Wagner. Taylor's legal team is preparing to request a 5-year injunction or permanent order. Security. Her protective detail has apparently been beefed up, with new protocols for home surveillance, vetting of anyone who enters her production space or touring areas. Public appearances. She's reportedly using bulletproof screens at some events, limiting exposure in uncontrolled settings. Media strategy. Silence is power. Her team may choose to downplay the threat publicly to avoid feeding the stalker's attention. Digital protection. All master recordings are kept under strict encryption and limited access. Only trusted engineers and label executives have access. Backup versions are mirrored in secure vaults around the globe. Auditing leaks. Use of watermarking, colored mixes, and unique identifiers in pre-release versions to trace any leak to its source. The stalker might threaten to drop just one track to test the reaction, then progressively leak more unless demands are met. He could stage a coordinated digital leak to torrent sites, fan pages, streaming fakes, to sow chaos. Or he might demand Taylor make a public statement, meeting, or acknowledgement as a condition to prevent the leak. The emotional toll. Taylor may feel pressured, overcautious, or guilty about delaying her album rollout or altering appearances. The public might become complicit. Some fans may share leaks, believing they're rare versions, not realizing they are manipulated. If the stalker escalates beyond leaks, threats to life, property, family, the crisis turns from leaking music to personal security. This is not just a fan obsession, it's an assault on her identity and autonomy. The intertwining of her personal brand and her art makes the threat more invasive. The timing. With Showgirl about to drop, the stakes are highest now. Any premature release would overshadow her promotional plans. The psychological weight. She's performing, creating, loving, and being threatened, all at once. The world is watching. A leak or attack here would ripple through media, fandom, industry, and security alike. Taylor Swift stands at a crossroads. She must guard not just her life, but her art, her truth, and her legacy. As a shadow figure threatens to expose the life of a showgirl before she's ready, every move counts: legal, security, emotional. Do you think the stalker is bluffing, or could the leak be real? What do you believe should be Taylor's next move? Comment below. Loving the story so far? Go ahead and subscribe, it's free, and it means you'll never miss the next update.